Hello, it's Scott Manley here, and today I am looking at the long-awaited Elite Dangerous from Frontier Development. This game is essentially the fourth part of the fourth Elite game. Now, this was originally announced as a Kickstarter last year, almost simultaneously with Star Citizen, and it was really interesting because, both of these games are derived ultimately from really landmark games in the spacecraft genre, and so it was interesting to see that Star Citizen, managed to catalyze this interest into, like $35 million, whereas the Elite Dangerous people kind of got a couple of million and then disappeared for a year, and now they've come back with the very first alpha for the few hundred people that wanted to pay £200. That's over $300 if you want to get access to the alpha. Now, the alpha at this stage is just combat scenarios, and I have to say, based on what I've played, it's pretty polished for an alpha, but it is obviously lacking the scope of the final game. Even a giant imperial corporation like Mastopolis Mining has its unethical offshoots. Accepting a Mastopolis mining contract to remove evidence of hazardous dumping from a distant asteroid belt might pay the bills, but if it isn't glamorous, maybe I'll gain their trust and they'll give me something more juicy. And that there is the updated version of the Sidewinder, which was a very simple spacecraft design in the original Elite. You would never fly it, but it would appear as a pirate from time to time. It would basically have a small number of vectors on it, and the design was very, very simple. So yeah, we got a little intro here explaining how to fly. I'm going to use the Xbox controller mostly because it comes pre-set up with more or less the default controls. Now, moving in the pitch axis is faster. If you try to go left and right, you have you have roll basically. There is yaw available, but it is much slower than pitching, so I guess the notion is that you roll towards your target. You treat it very much like a fighter aircraft. Now, if you press the Z key, then you can actually slip and slide sideways and get full access to 3D motion. The only thing I found is, let me try doing this. Let's target this, deploy the guns. I'm going to come up the guns and I'll shoot this target while side-slipping past it. In theory, if I can actually get my target lined up on it. Okay, this thing does not want to die. That's probably because... No, that is a canister of toxic waste. Come on, there we go. Excellent, let's target that one. Ah, there, excellent. Now, let's press thing to put it back, press Z to put it back into regular flight mode. There... Under this mode, it comes, fly-by-wire and everything. It's performing all the calculations for you, and you'll see the jets firing as I roll there. You can see the little jet there, another jet on that side. So it's trying to model the motion in space to make it like a realistic, to make it fly like a space fighter. But obviously, if you really want to do things, you can fly it in full, automated style, and you will slip and slide through space and be able to attack targets like this. Yay! Excellent, except you'll probably end up crashing into things. And what I have found with the Xbox controller right now is that inevitably I end up picking up a roll that I can't kill. Like, for some reason, there's some weird problem I've had where you seem to build up a roll in one direction and there's no actual way to kill it with the default Xbox control setup. Again, it does support keyboard and joystick. It supports what else? It supports keyboard mouse, keyboard joystick. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a keyboard input. You can remap everything, but I kind of went with the pure Xbox controller simply because it was a known quantity, more or less. It would... Ooh, there's a navigation beacon. Let's take a look at that. It's obviously looking rather nice. You notice the little bobblehead there. If I just... hold on, if I just slow down here, we can actually look around the cockpit a little. If I hold one button, you can push to the side, you can see the various things. So I can select the navigation beacon or the toxic waste canister as my target. If I go over the other side, you have all your systems, and you can adjust priority, you can adjust your fire groups. All that stuff's important. There's a whole like heat mechanic, which I understand is related to stealth, and you can take a look at this very this almost iconic radar system. I'm not sure Elite was the first game to use a targeting radar system like this, but it was certainly the one which introduced the concept of the flat plane with the objects being projected above it. Anyway, if I come out of this, yeah, there we go. You also have the ability to look around with this joystick. You can see the interior of my Sidewinder spacecraft, and when you go back out of free look mode, that same control will access the side slip motion. But let's kill this thing and go on to another target. There we go, one contact destroyed. Mistopolis Mining can carry on with its dodgy practices. Dodgy, that's a very British word. Now the Imperial inspectors from head office have moved on. On the bright side, you've been contacted by one of their agents. They've tracked down a trader that reported the dumping and want you to be in touch. So we go to the scenario list and we get another little scenario. First kill. So you've been tipped off about the Solar Fluke, who basically it's your job to boil this greenhorn and let everyone know that going against Mistopolis is a dead-end career, with the emphasis on dead. So yes, when you talks about your shields and how you absorb shield damage, you get recharge, and there's something about feedback to the shield generator. It will cease if emission integrity is reduced to 0%, whatever that means. No, the manual is very nice. They have all this stuff. This is frequently missing from alphas and things like that. Also note how your cockpit starts all iced up. I think that's part of the heat mechanic, and essentially you start from a default situation and you're frozen. Okay, so here we go. Here's the bad guy, or the good guy. We can get in nice and close to this guy. Let's sneak in before he realizes that we're actually going to shoot him. So I'm going to fly towards him and sneak around the outside of this asteroid. Side slip around it. There, see that? So by pressing the Y button on the controller, I can target him. And that gives me some range information, lets me actually get in. Ooh, nice and slow down. There needs to be a match speed button. This guy, it looks like another Sidewinder. Sidewinders in the original Elite were easily the most maneuverable ships that you would fight. And in some versions you could fly them, but most versions you could not. Okay, let's shoot him down. At least when I get a nice line, when I get him in the right position. Ready? Oh dear. Now, when you fire for too long, you... there we go. So that's overloading. I can purge the heat with the heat sink. You have the same kind of heat mechanic that you had in the original game, where if you fired for too long your lasers would overheat, and that seems to be the main thing that stops me killing things quickly. Come on, I have to kill you quickly. Oh, look at him, he's on fire. You see that I'm having to roll and... come on! There's a lot of rolling as you try to get the right angle on them. This is it's almost like traditional air combat, because obviously in air combat with aircraft, you're the main way you can turn is pitching, right? And so you end up having to kind of roll your pitch angle onto whatever you're trying to turn towards. Look at him. Let's slow down and admire this mess. It was very nice. Your contact is pleased and credits have been transferred. A bright future in the revenge and bounty hunting business beckons. Now it's time to hit the local info feeds and see if anyone's been bad enough to merit your attention. Yes, Sidewinder face-off. Your contact is pleased with your progress. Sadly, their way of doing business tends to create enemies. One of those enemies is an experienced pilot. The Crimson Triumph has been plundering Mistopolis mining bases. Rather than getting head office to send an enforcement unit and drawing attention, they have offered a big fat bounty instead. Be careful though, this guy knows what he's doing. Yeah, the original design was essentially like on each side you had like 3 triangles that made a kind of truncated hexagonal pyramid. It was like taking like a, I don't know, it was like taking a hexagon, extruding a point, and then cutting it in half if you're a 3D modeler. So this is talking about the energy diverting thing where you can basically assign more energy to fields. So this thing out here, this is a hyperspace exit point, and we're going to see him come out, and he is instantly hostile. So I'm going to start firing at him straight away. Oh, except that I'm going to catch him. Now, if you look to the left of the right of the radar display, that is my velocity, and when that is near the white, that gives me best maneuverability, right? But I'm obviously going fast towards him, and then now that I'm turning, I'm slowing down to try and curve around. I want more energy in my weapons right now because I keep... Whoa, come on. There's still a heat sink there. Now what is he flying? He's still flying another Sidewinder. But he's better equipped to deal with my shenanigans. Come on. I want to be careful with the overheating here. So by putting more energy into the weapons, I guess I've improved my ability to overheat them. Whoa! Slow down. I'm trying to use the strafe as well. Whoa! Come on. No. He's 1 kilometer out now. Now you can obviously see his little display on the left, which is showing you how much damage he's taking. Ah, ha, ha. Yes, he's now recharging. You can see his shield coming back up, but I am hopefully going to kill him before that really kicks in. Aha! No, come on. Oh, come on. What's that? Surface detect. Ah, there we go. Excellent. More debris from this unfortunate victim. The tyranny of the Crimson Triumph has ended and your bank balance has increased substantially. I like both of those things. Still, those credits won't last forever. I'm feeling good about this. Now we go with the recon wing. Rumours are the local federal forces are taking an interest in some of Mestopolis' more recent finds. Your contact is concerned enough about the Imperial inspectors and doesn't want 2 superpowers sniffing around. So there's the Federation and there's the Empire, and they are both like in a war. That was a fact that was introduced in the Frontier First Encounters. Actually, no, it was introduced in Frontier, which is essentially Elite 2, and then First Encounters reintroduced the Thargoids and added stories. It was also one of the buggiest games ever released. Okay, so we can deploy hard points and switch fire modes and things like that. I'll show you that in here because these guys don't come in instantly hostile. If you look over here, fire groups, you can see the blue things fire on my left trigger. The yellow things fire on my right trigger, and I think there's a way to cycle through the weapons groups. I think N cycles through the weapons groups. But I'm going to keep it with burst laser and missiles for now. Let's go back. Okay, there are some targets. So, that's my first target. Oh, let's go in and get in close before they actually decide to talk. So let's get the missiles and everything lined up. Missile is locked, but he is totally unsuspecting. Let's get in a little closer. Oh no, lost my missile lock. I want to get in nice and close, shoot some missiles at him, and then launch. Well, shoot some lasers and then launch the missile at him. Come on, ready, and... That should be good. Now his friends, unfortunately, are coming at me. Okay, out of here. I'm using a boost to put some range between me and them. So I can divert energy to my engines, and that will put some range before I can turn around and reset my energy. Now, these guys are firing at me once again. Okay. Slow down. Whoa. Okay. Oh, here's the one. Ha! Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Come on! That missile away! Come on! It's 4 against 1. Uh-oh, this is not good. Use my boost. Oxygen depleted in 138. This is not a good situation to be in. That means I've taken... Oh, my hull is down to 2% damage. That would probably explain why I'm not doing too well. I have beaten this scenario a couple of times, but I guess I'm not doing too well here. No, that's me. That's me. Dead. So yes, this is the Elite Dangerous Alpha. I will probably be looking at it a whole lot. I'm quite impressed by how smoothly or how well polished it appears to be. I'm really happy to see the throwbacks to the old game and its attempt to merge the two control systems, and it does actually play rather well on an Xbox controller, although I'll probably set it up for a more appropriate control system as soon as I get some time with it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.